Hey, good morning, everybody. We'll get started in just a second here. Good to see everybody's faces or names or pictures. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Jim. Congrats again.
Thanks, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, Jim.
Hey, good morning, Tess.
Morning, Tess.
Hello. All right, I think we can get started in a minute. Hope everybody is doing well in this drought weather.
Jim, I'm going to be a little pretentious to say good morning, Director Zenner.
Hey, good morning, Robert.
All right, I think we can kick this off. Just close this, sorry. A little bit of technical difficulty here this morning. Here we are. So good morning. Welcome to the Access and Engagement Working Group meeting. We're glad to have everybody here. See a lot of great comments going on in the chat. I'm Tess Banco, and I have with me Jim Zenner. Give a little wait. And we are the chairs of the Access and Engagement Working Group. You'll notice looking at the agenda in minutes, which I posted a link to, I'll go back in and repost it. But we have a working group chair contact list. So if you're ever interested in getting in touch with other working group chairs, you can just cruise on over, take the link, and it's got all the information as to who the chairs are if you have a particular question in one of these groups. We also have a contact list, a link up here on the top. This is just a link for anyone who has joined the meeting and would like to share their contact information. It is a public list, so if you don't want your information shared, make sure that you say no over here. All right, so upcoming events and dates, make sure to visit the LAVC Learning Community and Message Board. A lot of the community events are posted there. We're in the process of trying to create a shared calendar for the county, for LAVC and other organizations that are working together. And I think that brings us to our agenda items. So again, welcome everybody. Sorry about that. I feel like I have a left-handed computer because I always hit the wrong keys. But welcome. As I said, we have working groups. There's a contact list of organizations that are represented. Our mission is to be collaborative. It's a group where families in need, peers, service coordinators, and county officials can access systems and engage with each other through communication, collaboration, and service delivery. So it's all rolled into the VPAN efforts, the Veteran Peer Access Network here in Los Angeles County, and the new LA County Unite Us platform model. So there's data now that's being collected. There's a model where individuals are able to go and seek help, not only through VPAN, but also through the Unite Us platform as well. So referral system, and the data is incredibly important. So Jim, I don't know if you have more to add to that, but also please feel free to start the standing reports.
Yeah, the only thing I have to add to that is we're, as VPAN, we're only as successful as our partners, and you all contribute greatly and been great partners. And yeah, the reason why we've had collective success here in LA is because of all you. So it's good to see you, and thank you for your continued partnership for sure.
Awesome. All right, so standing reports. Do we have Janet Turner with us today? Okay. Local government updates. So Robert Alvarez.
There's nothing for me.
All right, Richard Valdez. As many of you might know, the PACT Act passed the Senate. It actually was, I believe it's on the president's desk. Has it been signed into law?
If it hasn't today, I think it's scheduled to be signed today. I think this is my best guess.
Yeah.
My understanding is he did sign it.
Awesome.
Okay. Jury is out on that one. We'll get more information for you. There's also been some information going around about what the impacts of the passing of the act mean in terms of healthcare and other items. So we'll be sure to share those documents with you all as well. And then handing it off to Jim.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I got an announcement to make. I think we already heard a little bit about it, but I am transitioning over as the Director of Military Veteran Affairs. Super excited to get started and get to work over there. Really, my only concern was, what's going to happen to VPAN and all the work that we put into that up to this point. And I've been assured by my 5 bosses, particularly Robert's boss, who was the author of the Veteran Peer Access Network board motion, that VPAN's not going anywhere. And I'm going to continue to work closely with Unite Us, with the DMH VPAN team. Tran is the other program manager currently with DMH. I'm going to get her on these meetings moving forward, so you all can meet her if you haven't met her, and support her. But really, this is just an opportunity for me to just take the fight, my life's mission, which has been to fight for veterans and family members the last 12, 13 plus years, and take it on another level. And I don't care what title anybody puts in front of my name. This group is particularly important to me. So I plan on staying the co-chair of this group. You guys are extremely important. Your feedback is essential for us to change, not just how services are provided or available, but also the policy. I'm really appreciative to Amy and Robert and Richard to joining policy with access and engagement, so that as you all are doing work on the ground and running into issues, whether they're policy or service related issues, that we provide you an opportunity to have your voice be heard and make changes in those 2 realms. So I am 110% committed to that and continuing that mission. And you will continue to see my face on access engagement every month. And really one thing that I'd also like to point out is my success is only because of the success of the 70 veterans and family members that are out there doing the work as VPAN. When you get to my level, it's really who you surround yourself with, and any kind of success you have is because you've surrounded yourself with the right people. So I see a lot of folks from VPAN, Colin and John and Matt and Al, and anybody that I didn't mention. I see Richard there too, Jesse. You guys are the reason why I even have had any success professionally. So really appreciate you guys. I think another thing that I'd ask everybody to keep an open mind to is I'm going to have access to all the different county department heads. So as we're identifying issues with our aging veteran population, my colleague over at Department of Aging with LA County is somebody that I can work with to create solutions for veterans. And really, honestly, I'm not a smart guy, so I really need your guys' feedback and insight into how to develop the, what needs to be developed on the county end. So, yeah, I mean, I could keep talking forever. I don't want to do that because I really want to get to the point to where we're hearing from you all what's the issues and barriers and what's working out there. So I'll stop at that. I think the next portion was kind of general VPN updates. Sorry, my voice is going out. I've been doing a lot of screaming, hooting, and hollering lately, and fighting as needed. Yeah, so updates. We are currently hiring peer housing navigators to join each of the teams. I know SD1. George, I don't know if you're on the call, but George was selected by JVS to be our very first peer housing navigator. The other 4 teams are working to hire those individuals. They will be a link to Lisa Rodriguez, who's our housing coordinator with VPN on the DMH side. She brings all the resources that DMH has around housing to the team and to the whole veteran continuum. And so these 5 peer housing navigators will be in the different by name list meetings. Will attend all the LASA led meetings and efforts. Will also be a part of the VA CES efforts. And then they're also going to be embedded in the team to really be a subject matter expert around all housing stuff for the team. Because as we all know, we've been at this thing in LA for 12 plus years, and it's hard work. It's also a sophisticated system. And so the hope behind those peer housing navigators is that they will demystify a lot of the thoughts and worries that people have about navigating that system. And then the other announcement is we hired a George, I see you're on here, man. Congratulations. The other piece is we hired a forensic psychologist to work with the VA Veteran Justice Outreach Program. MVA, as you might know, hired a benefits rep specifically to work with that population. One of the gaps that was brought onto my radar by Jody Galvin and the collaborative is that sometimes veterans don't qualify for VHA healthcare. And in those cases, the VGO team can't work with them. And so often we would try to get them connected to DMH or some kind of community mental health resource, but there really wasn't that liaison to work with them and satisfy all the court's needs to get them into alternative sentencing and mental health diversion. And as we all know, the military often discharges people without treating them. And so that really, your feedback, Jody's leadership really kind of led the department to making the decision to hire that individual. She's on board. She will be around. She will definitely be in the legal and reentry group if she doesn't appear in the main group at some point. But she's great. I can't wait for everybody to meet her. But we're continuing to focus on our veterans that enter the justice system. And really, Jody's probably told us a million times, but we're 100% on board with Jody in the fact of getting to veterans as soon as they get arrested, so they don't have to go through that experience without some type of help and hope as they go through that. And I think that's it without having the agenda in front of me.
Jim, you mentioned the VA CES, and I'm not sure that everybody knows, what the effort is that's going down there. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so there's been so the VA homeless office has brought on a couple of high-powered consultants to come out here to LA and really work with GLA, Community Integration and Reintegration Services, the homeless program, to really look at what we're doing. And part of that, they identify the need. Sorry, my voice is cracking like I'm 13 again. They identified a need to revamp the veteran coordinated entry system. And so right now there's a group of a lot of SSVF providers. I know I've been involved, Tess has been involved, but there's an effort right now to get feedback from a lot of us that are doing the work in homelessness here in LA to revamp and create a veteran coordinated entry system that's specifically tailored to veterans by the VA. And the VA would take the lead on that in partnership with LASA. So that I know Jen, I just saw Jen post something. So Jen's been from LASA has been a big part of that as well. So we're all working together to create a more efficient coordinated entry system for vets.
All right, thank you so much. And going back to the agenda, we had Christina Garcia on here. Christina, are you with us?
I am, Tess. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, everyone. So yes, just some shout outs. New battle buddies. We have SD1, Brianna Saravia. Congrats. Welcome. SD4, the Iowa, we have Yvette Mejia, Alfredo Gutierrez, Berenice Navarrete. Welcome to the VPAN family. And one final announcement, Oscar Rosales, VOALA SD2, was nominated for the housing coordinator position. So congrats to all, and looking forward to many more joining the team. Currently, we have 2 battle buddies and 1 squad leader position available within our VPAN team. So anybody that's interested in applying, please send them your resumes over to either SCG, DMH, or the PMs, along with the housing coordinators. We need several of those amongst VPAN. So thank you all. I hope you have a great Army Day. Boa.
And I'm wondering, just for those who might be joining us for the first time, can you talk a little bit about how the VPAN is laid out around the county and how people can access? Great.
Yeah, so we have the 5 teams in each supervisory district, and they're comprised of the battle buddies, the squad leader, the housing coordinator now, and the services coordinator. The PM is leading the way. So we have out of JVS SD1, we have Leo Chirinos. He's on call. Say hello, Leo. VOALA SD2, we have Christina Reingold. SD3, we have Terrence Mann. SD4, we have Jesse Mendoza. And SD5 JVS, we have Jimmy Guevara, also all on here, which they'll be talking about some barriers that they're having within their SDs. But there's many ways of reaching out to these teams. You can actually find them on landing pages on the internet. You could go through DMH, create a referral. Anybody on this call knows how to use Unitas. If not, Noah's on call and she can get us all connected.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much. I think we can move into our rally point updates. So these are updates from each of those community-based organizations that are located in the supervisory district. So let's kick it off with SD1, JBS.
All right. Thanks, Tess. Good morning, everyone. My name is Leo Chirinos. I'm the VPAN program manager here at SD1. And this month we had our reports showing that most utilized services were going to be individual and family support, income support, and housing and shelter. Those were our leading requests that we had this month. Those have seemed to have been pretty consistent throughout the past several months, as the income support and housing, which is great to have since we have now our housing peer navigator, which will help us hopefully expedite or definitely clear the path for any barriers that we were having with limited resources or maybe not understanding the processes for housing completely. So that should be good. Barriers, we're actually getting past a few that we've been having in the past. We were having some, we've been working with MBA to make sure that we're getting, connected to VSO. So now we do have our VSO back in house. So we're excited to have her back and continue to, collaborate with our MBA team. So that was a barrier that I was glad to report that we're working on that now. So we're going to get past that one. And other issues, maybe just Unitas, the Unitas platform, but I know we've been addressing that with Unitas, just on some, duplications of clients. So we're working on that, but those are just platform issues. Aside from that, we've participated in about 8 outreach events in the month of July. We had our big one was the partnership luncheon, which I thought went really well. It was our way of saying thank you to those that have been supportive of our efforts within the community, and we look to possibly make this an annual thing and include other SDs, so that way we can kind of address the county as a whole. So it was definitely exciting. And other events were recreational therapy here at Whittier Narrows, fishing Thursday, partnering up with the vet center comes to Whittier Narrows. So they just happen to be in our area. Also, reserve presentations seem to be more requested for VPAN. I think the word is getting out to a lot of the reserve stations. So they're going to be looking for a lot more supportive services, being explained to them and how it works for their commands. Aside from that, that's it. We have an upcoming event in September. It's going to be our LA Trade Tech event, the Fall Wellness. So look forward to seeing everyone there. We do have our flyers out. Amy Bravo, she's been able to push those out for us as well. So we look forward to seeing everyone there. That's all I got.
All right, awesome. And that sounds really exciting. I've seen the flyer around for the Fall Wellness, so we can circulate that, I'm sure, with the main body meeting and the salute report, which gets put out monthly. You'll be able to see that flyer in there too. Let's move on to SD2, Volunteers of America, Los Angeles.
Good morning. My name is Christina Rangold, Program Manager for VPAN, Supervisory District 2. For the past month, we did over 10 outreach events. Some of the barriers that we've been, or actually events that are coming up, I do want to highlight, we have our Wellness Day / back to school. That's going to be happening on Saturday, this Saturday, August 13th from 10 to 2. Our team is partnering with the Veterans Advocacy Group of America, and we're really excited about it. It's going to be a large event. We have about 45 vendors that'll be present, covering a variety of different areas: dental, medical, education, homeless, housing, and so much more. And we also will be providing a lot of school supplies. We'll be handing out over 300 backpacks along with school supplies. So we're really excited about it. Also too, we have the following Saturday, August 20th. We're partnered with the Venice Beach Basketball League, and we'll be putting together a basketball showcase. We'll be having a free youth clinic for children. And then also it'll be followed by a couple of basketball games with 5-on-5 with league players and other veterans, along with a wheelchair bound basketball game 5-on-5. So a lot of entertainment, freebies, and we're just really appreciative of the league for providing this platform for us to be able to reach more in the community regarding our program and being able to highlight it. So and then in September, and I'll add these flyers to the chat so you can all have them. In September, on the 17th, 18th, and 19th, will be the Homeless Compton Stand Down that's held by the Compton Chamber of Commerce every year. And so I'll make sure to provide that information. The top 3 services that we continue to provide, and it kind of changes in numbers, but is individual and family support, along with housing and shelter, and then income support. Barriers, we were kind of having it towards the end of our fiscal year. We're struggling to spend down, but that was not a struggle. We were able to accomplish that with ease. My team really rallied together. Also to some of the newer barriers that we're experiencing is when we do receive referrals, when we do attempt to reach out to the client, whether it's a relative of a veteran or a veteran themselves, sometimes it's hard to get in contact with them via phone, email, text. So we've been doing more pop-up visits in person in effort to get in contact with individuals to make sure that we service them. Also currently I'm working closely with our accounting team because we've noticed that there's been some slowing down of the processing of payments for rental and security deposit assistance. So that's something that we're actively working on, and I definitely see for a change of that. And then lastly, a barrier that we're seeing is a huge increase in rental arrears and mortgage payments. Clients getting behind. And so trying to work with those and network with other agencies, partner with them in efforts to address these needs has been going really well. So That's all I got from SD2. Thanks, Tess.
Oh, incredible. So I captured your two of your top three, so individual and family support, housing and shelter. What was the other one?
Income support.
Income support. Thank you. All right, SD3, Goodwill SoCal.
Good morning, folks. Colin here. I'm the services coordinator with VPN SD3. We've conducted 6 outreach events for the month of July. And to talk about events, we actually have a casino night coming up on August 20th, which is being held at VFW Post 2323 in Chatsworth, which is also one of our new camps. We'll be stationed there on Fridays from noon to 3. And we'll be pretty much enjoying coffee and donuts with veterans who come by. And let's see. Our top 3 needs for the month of July were individual and family support, followed by income support and benefits navigation, which came in at 3rd. And we did see a drop in benefits navigation as we are still trying to locate a VSO. And that is also our barrier at the time. Yeah, and because of that, we did see a drop in a slight drop in the number of clients added to unite us as well.
Mm-hmm. And that has to be a qualified VSO that's been trained and certified.
Right. So we're working on it, and it's a process, but yeah, all I can say for now is that we're working on it. And we actually do have 2 new battle buddies, so we are fully staffed when it comes to battle buddies. And we have Arthur Ferguson, who is a Navy vet, and Jin Sup, who is a Army vet. But we are still looking for a housing coordinator.
Okay. Do you have any other barriers?
No, that's all I can think of at the moment.
All right, SD4 USS Battleship Iowa.
I'm sorry, can I just jump in? I'm sorry, I got in late, but you mentioned VSO, and I just heard the tail end of that. Could you repeat your comment, Colin?
Yeah, so we used to work with Hector Castillo, who used to work in our office every Wednesdays.
Right.
And which attracted big population of veterans every Wednesdays. But now that he's moved on to Sepulveda VA, we no longer have a VSO who's in our office once a week. So that's a barrier at the moment.
Okay. And I'm sure Jim's working on that. And I know that the staff is down right now. They're down about 25%. They're working on bringing new guys on. But
yeah, we understand.
I hear you.
We're working on it on our side as well.
Okay, awesome.
So moving forward to SD4 USS Battleship Iowa.
Good morning, everyone. Jesse Mendoza, Program Manager for SD4. Right now, I'm going to be having Matt Castillo reporting out for us, for our team. Overall, we've been very productive this month, and I'm still working on that housing coordinator position. And for the most part, we've transitioned into some new battle buddies, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to Matt, and he'll go ahead and report out. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, morning, everyone. Matt here. Congratulations, Jorge, Oscar, Jim. Congrats on the new position. It's my first time saying congrats to Jorge because he doesn't reach out to me anymore. I guess since I left JVS, he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. SD4, our top 3 has been benefits, navigation, peer support, and housing and shelter. So far, our top 3 barriers has been the interim housing. We've been having trouble with finding transitional housing while the veteran looks for permanent housing, as well as low credit scores to get into housing. And then we're coming up with as we've been working a lot more with the reservist. I'm actually at Oscar Battery with the Marines. I have our new battle buddy, Alfredo, and I have Adam out here working with the Marines. We've been seeing that a lot of the reservists are underemployed, so they might have employment, but just not enough pay or not enough hours, whatever it is. For this month, we had 12 total outreach And then our next big event is a 24-hour ceremonial watch that we're having on the Iowa. I believe it's September 25th to 26th. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. We'll get a flyer out to y'all here soon. That is a mental health and suicide awareness event that we'll have on the Iowa. And that's it for the 4.
All right, thank you so much. That's sure to be an incredible event, the 24-hour watch. All right, SD5 JVS.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jimmy Guevara. I am the program manager for Supervisor District number 5, also former Marine. So with that being said, I just want to move forward with our report today. So our top 3 needs is going to be coming in number 1 is going to be benefits and navigations. Coming in number 2 is going to be housing and shelter. Coming in number 3 is going to be employment, and coming a really close third is going to be income and support. Some of the barriers we've been running into as well has been, this is coming from both the DMH staff that does a lot of the casework and goes out there and helps a lot of the veterans. Same with our peer specialist as well. Trying to get award letters from the Social Security office for housing. That's one of the barriers they're running into a lot, and trying to get that documentation to get people, into like that supported document for the housing authority. The other one is the 290s. Getting documents from law enforcement agencies for the housing authority to be able to get them into some form of permanent housing as well. So we're running into those are some of the barriers we're running into as well. As far as the outreach events that we've been holding on right now, we're running a little slow coming in July, just because we want to plan for August and September for the bigger events. But with that, I would say we held about like 11 to 12 outreach events that we're holding. Coming up, and for us in this for this calendar for this August, we have the Bakersfield Outreach, and then the VA also invited us to the Women Veteran breakfast outreach that's being held at Building 500 as well. Ooh, and someone needs to turn off their mic.
What is going on for the Bakersfield Outreach, Jimmy?
So the Bakersfield Outreach is also a reserve base that we got invited over by the VA to want us to be able to represent what VPAN does and what we're able to do as well. Another one that we have going on as well, we're also partnering up with UCLA, the VA, and VPAN together for the Recreational Expo that's being held on August 20th, and that's also in collaboration with SD3 as well. So SD3, SD5, we're working together on that as well. And there's also going to be a presentation at Memorial Library by one of our squad leaders as well. We also have a course that we're going to do a different type of outreach. Usually we go out to the desert, but we're going to try a little something different, and we're going to do a more of an urban outreach this time around for here in Antelope Valley. The other thing we're looking at for September, we're also just kind of throwing out there, we're going to do an Oildale screening in partnership with the Elks Lodge. We're gonna screen a holistic video of showing how music is able to help heal wounded veterans from war. So we're gonna be holding that in the Palmdale Elks Lodge. I know Nida's on the line right now, so big shout out to her for connecting me with that. Veterans Administration outreach for the VFW Post 3000, Quartz Hill, and then the last one on September 24th. And I just like announcing it early, just because I just want to put that out there. Hello Fall is going to be held by going to be a partnership with Women's Vets on Points, the LAVC, SoCal Grantmaker, VPAN, and the VA. We're all going to work together in JVS to be able to do like a women vets on the new season, which Rocio Palmetto will probably be able to talk more about that as well. Some of our team members are also in partnership with that and trying to create that. Other than that, that's what we got going on our side of the world. So very busy coming up in the next couple of months. So other than that, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or emotional outbursts, you can always just call me directly. Have a wonderful day.
Emotional outbursts. I like that very much. Jim, would you like to continue with the rest of the reports?
Sure. I like how you call my name after you say emotional outburst. It's awesome. It's like we've been working together for a while.
Okay.
I see Richard Valdez joined. Richard, did you want to give any kind of updates on the policy side?
Wait, Jim, should I be concerned about that last comment?
We'll find out. Buckle your seatbelt. I see Phoebe's on here too. Thank you for joining us, Phoebe.
Yeah, Jim, I'm here. What I wanted to start out with is, as everybody had noticed in Williams' post, that the PACT Act had been signed into law this morning. So I wanted to touch on with regards to that is that we're going to be experiencing, or the VA is going to be experiencing a strain on resources initially. And the VA has been preparing for this in advance of the passage of the PACT Act and its signing into law. So everybody needs to be in a position to move out once the provisions for the implementation of the PACT Act are better understood. I'll be working with others with regard to identifying those provisions and how we move forward on it. But just so that everybody is aware, there will be a strain. Also, wanted to let everybody know, if they aren't fully aware of what's contained in the PACT Act, that although what we hear on the news and the way the PACT Act had gone forward, there's a lot of talk with regards to burn pits as being the main emphasis. And that's correct. However, there are other exposures that are also included in the bill for veterans of all eras. Additional provisions with regards to Agent Orange are included in that. You have the veterans affected by radiation, especially those that had worked on crash sites where nuclear bombs had been essentially exposed in particular areas. Other environmental impacts that veterans have been exposed to, whether it's hazardous materials, other types of toxins, also additional sites where veterans had been exposed to burn pits and other environmental exposures. Those things need to be understood because, as I had mentioned, and also a couple of the VPAN sites talking about needing a VSO or coverage in terms of benefits, claims people. That's going to be an important aspect of moving forward with the PACT Act, understanding what is contained within the bill so that nobody's left behind, because we're talking about all heirs of veterans, not just OEF, OIF, but all heirs. So people need to understand that. That's, as I said, as I'll be working with others in the next few weeks to understand the provisions and how we're going to move forward on that. Another important thing, now that that's been passed and signed into law, the House will be coming back into session the end of this month, as well as the Senate, which just left a few days ago on their August recess. In the access and engagement intel influencers, there are listed a number of bills that have been passed by the House and they're pending in the Senate. We need to make sure that our senators and other representatives understand that those bills are important and also need to be signed into law before the year ends. So I'll continue to update all of you on the progress on those bills and any additional bills that move forward, where we need to get a hold of our local representatives to ensure that they understand what it is and are on board in terms of either co-sponsoring, sponsoring, and voting for these bills. That's our duty here in the community. We just don't sit on our hindside and let those in Washington do their thing. No, we've got to engage our local representatives, whether it's a state bill or a federal bill, to let them know, to have them hear from us. Hey, this thing's important. These bills are important for our women veterans, our exposed veterans, disabled veterans, and you guys need to get on board. So there's a lot of folks and a lot of interest in the collaborative and in the community that I'll do my best to get the information to y'all. But again, it's all up to you whether or not you get on board and push these legislators to do what's right. And hey, there are things contained in some of these bills that may not be completely accurate. They might just gloss over a problem that you know more about, because a lot of experts in the collaborative that know about certain things, whether it's a disease or mental health, and it may not be covered in a bill. Well, hey, from my own experience, doesn't prevent you from contacting your local legislator and explain to them, hey, this particular bill is missing something. Here's what it is. And would you sponsor an amendment bill? And those are different ways of getting changes in before a bill goes before the House floor and Senate floor for a full vote. You can influence change, good change to bills. So I'll, like I said, I'll keep you all posted, and where we need your help, hey, you're going to be hearing from us. So that's all I have for right now. Take a look at the access and engagement intel for Linsers, the latest report. Look at those bills that are there. Look them up online to understand what they in fact contain, so that you're prepared to not only push for it, but answer any questions that your legislator may ask of you. Why is this bill important? Well, this is why it's important. So that's what I have for right now. And anything new that comes down the pipe, I'll make sure you all have it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Richard. Over to homelessness and housing and legal with Steve, Melanie, Jen, and Amanda.
The Homeless and Housing Working Group today will have a guest speaker from the Compton Stand Down that I'm looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to hearing from Jen about the hopes for the VA and LASA revamping of the coordinated entry system for veterans.
Sorry, I couldn't locate my unmute button there for a while. But good morning, everyone. As mentioned by Jim and Steve, last month we had a 2-day conference at the West LA campus where we brought together as many of the veteran service providers as we could, given the community and global circumstances. And there we really spent 2 days really breaking down what our current CES policies and procedures and access routes look like, and identifying barriers and really kind of playing around, throwing ideas on how to improve that. Something that I know as a community we will be working on, but something that I've taken to heart from those meetings is the need for everybody essentially to be an access point. You know, that recognition that veterans don't always immediately go to the VA to access services, that veterans are accessed at various points in the community, libraries, hospitals. And so we need to really start the work on engaging all of these non-traditional veteran service providers. And one of those efforts is actually with my counterpart at LASA. Let me see if I get her title correct, but she's a healthcare integration coordinator. And so essentially she works with the hospital liaisons around LA County. And so we have had several conversations on how we can better start tracking veterans who are accessing these non-traditional veteran services, and how do we start connecting with them. Jim, you will be very happy to know that that all came from that one question you asked me during that conference. And I'm gonna share it out because I was making fun of Jim for like 2 seconds, and then it really processed. Jim asked the question, how are you tracking veterans who are not in the system? And so essentially I was like, well, we're not, because I don't know who they are, right? But it really got me thinking about, again, how do we connect with these non-traditional veteran service providers? How do we enhance these access points? And so that's something that we're working on. The other thing that's really been a top priority for me in the last month is we're really working to clean up that by name list. There's been some technical glitches and some things have happened, but it is actually looking really great right now. The total count for anyone who's interested of active veterans or veterans who are active in our system right now is 2,451, which is actually lower than what we were seeing before the cleanup. The one thing I do want to report is in my work to clean it up, I'm actually seeing a lot of positive exits. And so now we're working with service providers, with SSVF grantees specifically on really making sure that these positive exits or these permanent housing placements are being reported in HMIS so that we can give everybody the credit that they deserve, and we can actually show our stakeholders that what we're doing is working. LA, you know, we get a lot of criticism and then we have that spotlight on us, but a lot of the work that we are doing is actually resulting in positive outcomes. And then Steve has not asked me yet, but I'm anticipating. So I'm gonna share out that there's been some progress on that public facing dashboard. Steve, you'll be very happy to know that I just found out this week, we are not the only ones working on a dashboard. The VA is actually working on a dashboard as well. And so very soon, Steve, you will have a lot of dashboards to access. And I think, I mean, I'm open to questions, but I do think those are the updates for me.
All right, awesome. So let's go with Amanda Pertisati. Are you with us today? She might not be. But for anyone who doesn't know, Public Counsel, Amanda's the supervising attorney there. So she helps out with helping to keep veterans and their families housed. So there are some remedies if individuals are about to lose their housing, that type of thing. So her information that she usually shares is check out stayhousedla.org. All right, we can move on to Unite Us. Anil?
Hello, everyone. I'm going to try to keep it brief, but lots of exciting. I'm going to share my screen.
Well, you probably won't be able to take the full 10 minutes. I think we're a little bit behind.
Yes, you're good. I will do it as brief as I can. So briefly, as long as it gets, trying to do presenter mode. There it goes. So briefly, right, when we look at branch who we're serving, Army biggest branch, we look at gender. I do want to highlight this. This is our biggest month, 24% female. That's our highest rate of female veterans that we have served, or individuals that we have served so far in the year and a half that I've been tracking stats. So that's exciting to see. When we look at just a quick highlight in terms of our safety net, we have 110 organizations that received referrals. That's up 32.5% from last month. So good work to everyone. That's fantastic to hear. This is why I enjoy doing this, because this is really highlights the work that everyone here is doing. I do want to give a quick shout out to Stack Up. They're new to the top 10 for sending referrals. I know they're on this call here today, so great job to them. Thank you for jumping on here, and glad to be able to highlight you as well. Our time to referral, 1.8 days, 0.1 longer than last month. I think that still fits into our 48-hour range, so we're good with that. In terms of quality of care and service, I want to say our service episodes resolved did go down 2.5%. So something just to maintain and make sure we watch. And with that meaning our service episodes not resolved went up 3.1%. So just again, something to make sure that we are watching, we are really looking at. In terms of referrals that were accepted, 72.1%, that went down about 3.5% this month. And then referrals that were declined, that also went up. So just again, wanting to make sure that we look at these things. When we look at decreasing homelessness, suicide, and underemployment, we look at housing and the open cases, resolved cases, and the not resolved cases. So being able to look at these important numbers When we look at mental health, 6. When we look at employment, 3 cases not resolved. When we look at housing, 30 cases not resolved. So just making sure that we can continue reaching out, and that's why we have this system, right? Everyone jumping on Unitas to be able to send the referrals, to be able to have these different doors to be able to connect us to. So keep up the good work. Top 10 for referrals. So for receiving referrals, MVA, County Veteran Service Office, 9 months in a row for #1. And then top 10 for sending orgs, VPN SD2 shout out 3 months in a row now. And that did change recently. So keep up the good work, SD2. We're really recognizing everyone that's jumping in on here. Top 5 needs, this is relevant as you guys are all talking about. Benefits navigation, still #1. Then we have individual and family support. Then we have income support, housing and shelter and employment. Income support did go up 1 this month in comparison to last time. So that was a quick shout out. I know usually we have questions, but I will hold that. If you guys need to reach out to me, I'll put my email in the chat, and then we can go from there. And the stats are always sent out in the update on Friday.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Anil. Let's move on then to, sorry about that. I'm way up here on the agenda, doing some tinkering. So we'll move on now to the sound off portion. We have a couple questions. What's working? How are we doing? Do you have snaps up for people? Alternatively, what's not working? And challenges, I'll be the first to offer that the 100-degree weather is not working for me personally, but remember to wear sunscreen and drink H2O. So the floor is open for all of you. Go ahead.
I have a question. As we went through the numbers that Neil illustrated, income support was one of those items that was among the top. And I'm wondering, how do we help with income support? Is that it left up to each individual to figure that out, or is there something we do in general?
Yeah, no, that's a good question, Anthony. We're there's a lot of organizations that are offering grants around income support, whether it's like gas or clothing, stuff like that, like more flexible fundings. We've engaged Change Reaction, Village for Vets, some of those organizations that kind of will take requests from peer support. And you guys in the field, like, please speak up. You guys are more knowledgeable than I am about this, but from my level, we've been focused on finding those organizations that'll support our veterans with just kind of whatever kind of income needs that they have that come up. Any of the VPN team that are doing the work on the front lines want to say anything more about that?
Jim, I could jump a little bit on that. So one of the things I know that because a lot of our referrals, like, we don't refer out a lot of times because we do a lot of in-house support, you know. So also we do a lot of, like, we have a lot of these organizations that are willing to help for, like, utilities and willing to help for, you know, and of course, you know, we try to sell them on Unitas, but, you know, they're still kind of like the smaller organizations that they're not ready yet to move on that side yet. So that's one of the other, like, things that we run into. But yeah, like a lot of these different, like, Maravilla Foundation, one for utilities and things like that, you know, those. So and then at the same time, our own DMH team is very resourceful at finding different what do you call it, personal financial assistance. And a lot of times we have other programs that we're able, like, sometimes if it's a little heavy, sometimes we can refer over to something that I'm trying to remember right now. For some reason I'm blanking out, Jim, the other grant that helped us out, you know, from the DMH team that you gave us. But
Change Reaction.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yes. So that also helps a lot too. So we have a lot of those different resources to maneuver. But again, every city has its different needs, and every organization only could base off that city itself. Like, I know right here we have Vets for Veterans, and I know they provide support, financial support and food assistance and things like that. But it's really based around this community only out here in Antelope Valley. Then we have other people down to like Santa Clarita's a different group, and so forth and so forth. So is being able to find those resources within your community to be able to support that city in particular. So that's where the challenging parts are coming in, is that every city is based differently.
Looks like we have a hand raised from Brock Young.
Yes, hello. My name is Brock Young. Thank you for putting this together. I appreciate it. I'm actually the Deputy Director of the San Francisco Federal Executive Boards up here in Northern California. And I wanted to jump on. I know that just listening to this, everybody wants to help the vets. This is awesome. Being a veteran myself, I retired last year from the Army. If you can hear me, I guess I should put this down like I'm a pilot. But I wanted to shout out to everybody here. Thank you very much for what you're doing, as well as to highlight our own service. We created a Veterans Federal Employment Collaborative, very tight in scope for employment for veterans. So any of your underemployed or unemployed vets, please feel free to send them my way. Being a federal employee, I'm able to assist, and I actually assist agencies fill vacancies with qualified candidates. We've got about 12 so far. So our motto is one more veteran hired. So I want to just throw my hat in to the collaborative, see what I can do to help. Please feel free to reach out to myself or our Greater Los Angeles Federal Executive Board, and we're here to assist any way we can.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, Brock. Have you connected with Jen, our co-chair for employment and career?
Not as yet. This is my first attending of this meeting, so I will definitely reach out to her.
I look forward to speaking with you.
Awesome.
I added also the contact information for, well, not his contact information, but what he gave about the group in the agenda in minutes. So if you scroll down, you can find it under the snaps up. And it looks like we have a hand up from Caesar.
Thank you, Tess. Hi, everyone. Caesar here at the SBA. I'm the veteran liaison for the Los Angeles District Office. I cover LA County, Ventura, and Santa Barbara counties. I'm also a Navy veteran. I just want to put my contact information in the chat, but I know we're working for a lot of veterans, but you know, the SBA does have resources, free resources for the military spouses, National Guard, reservists. So you guys are out there talking to a lot of vets and they want to start a business, or they're just saying, hey, how do I start a business? Please contact me. I love to take care of them. If their spouses want to start a business, the resources are free for them as well. National Guard, like I said, so please connect with me. I am available to do in-person workshops or online, or I can do a warm handoff if they're moving to another state. I can find them resources where, you know, where the federal government, federally funded services for them. So just think of me, have me in your background, and just know that we are here for them as well. So thank you guys for the time, and thank you for all that you do. Thank you.
Awesome. We have another hand from John Moss.
Yes, hello, everybody. This is John Moss, and I respectfully have been so busy I haven't been able to join recently, but I just wanted to share, as being part of the military collaborative, going back to rest in peace, Colonel Smith, and everything that they were engaging with me and our connection with, and I'm not a vet, but I am a source with approval from the military collaborative for Native Americans. So as well as working closely with, as we can, with the vets. I'm currently here in Lawton, Oklahoma, right next to the Fort Sill military base, working on some projects out here. But I wanted to encourage everyone, similar to like Caesar just mentioned, that if they are, and I hate this term, but a card-carrying Native American, for qualifications, we use a federally recognized tribal card. And similar to when VA benefits or things are looked at, you're using a DD-214. There are some help supports for, you know, household bills, monetary support, jobs, etc. So there are some things available to tribes, even if they are a member, like our nonprofit is out of Huntington Beach, yet my tribe is in Binger, Oklahoma, far, far away. So, but there are still certain benefits that we're able to access. So I just wanted to remind everyone, if you're working with the someone that is of Native American status, that might be an option for some added support. And again, thanks to everybody for what they're doing. And I did put my information in the chat because we're also working, like we spoke at the United Nations, but we also have access to, as an example, set-asides that are, you can Google the information once we speak, but there's 88 billion with the B dollars in set-aside available to help with all the programs that I'm hearing everyone speaking about. And myself being a housing expert for over 30 years, recognized by the top banks, that's part of what I'm trying to bring solutions in more housing and economic development in housing all over the US and Alaska. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, I think that brings us to the end of our comment period. I hope you will join us at the upcoming main body meeting. Jim, do you have anything else for the group?
Nothing else on my end.
Wait, I raised my hand.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see it.
It's okay.
Go
But
ahead.
that's why I have a voice. So thank you for giving me a voice. Thank you to the LAVC for giving me a voice. My name is Rocio Palmero, and I am the Women Vets on Point Program Coordinator with US Vets. And we have a lot of events coming up. And I'm making a big point of this because I really would love buy-in and support from all of our community partners, referring women to these events, because we are a minority of a minority and often within that minority. And we only represent 12% of all the veteran population, and we only represent 2%. Female veterans represent 2% of all women in the United States. So it is really important to continue to provide these supportive services and continue to have these events to make sure that we are being acknowledged and that we are being just acknowledged for our service, but also appreciated for our service. So on 8/12, we have the networking hour with the new Director of Military Veterans Affairs, Jim Zenner. That's this Friday, and everyone is welcome to any networking event. Anytime you see that we're promoting a networking hour, it is from 12 to 1, and everyone is invited. And that's usually when I bring in community partners to come in and speak about services and what's going on with our community. On 8/18, that is an evening event. That is a Zoom event. It's called Monte Carlo Night, and we will be having speakers. We call it Monte Carlo Night because we never know the role of the dice when we help a veteran. We never know if that veteran's going to be successful for the rest of their life, or we might have to, help them again in a couple of years, or maybe just supportive services in 6 months. So we're going to be really focusing on holistically how to support our veterans. We're going to have amazing speakers. Tess Banco, you guys may have heard of her. You guys may know who that is. We will have Jim Zenner. He will be our main speaker. And we will also have Carol Calandra from PCC, as well as Robert Storr, the Executive Director of Patriotic Call, US Vets and Patriotic Call, as well as myself speaking. And that's already kind of selling out, and we have a cap at 75, and we're almost halfway there, and the event is next Thursday. So I hope that y'all can join us for that. We also have Hello Fall, as Jimmy mentioned earlier. Hello Fall is an event. We want to bring in community partners to come in and table and provide, just talk about the services that are available for women. Sometimes women veterans don't identify as a veteran for any number of reasons that I'm not going to go into because we only have like 2 minutes left, but that is a real thing. And so we want to provide a safe environment. We're going to have face painting, cotton candy. We're going to have popcorn for the kids. So, and we will also be providing transportation from several different areas within the county. So that's going to be really exciting. So I want buy-in on that. So y'all should have already started seeing the flyer. We will be sending out those flyers again today. And we also have on 10/2, we will be having an event with Stack Up, and that'll be a woman-focused event for women who are gamers, who want to be gamers, who don't know what gamers are, but they want free food. And so we will be having that at the Stack Up House on 10/2. We are currently working on that flyer. And 10/21, we will have the Battle Boutique. The Battle Boutique will be taking place at the American Legion in Hollywood, Post 43, whoop, whoop. And we will be in, that will be in collaboration with the LAVC and as well as Calvet. So we are and the VA. So we are really, really excited about these events. Please look out for these events. Please sign up for these events. Sign up for our newsletter at womenvetsonpoint.org to be able to receive the latest and the greatest of all this information that we have. So thank you so much and have a great day.
All right, thank you so much, and looking forward to learning more and supporting. So turning it back over to Amy and the collaborative, ready for the main body meeting.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Again, don't go anywhere. We're starting our next meeting in just a few minutes, but an hour is a long time to stay focused. So please get up, stretch, go to the restroom, grab some coffee, and we'll meet back here in about 3 minutes to start our next portion of the meeting. All right, welcome back everybody to the August Collaborative. As you can see, we're back online. There was just too much risk in us holding it in person with new cases rising with COVID, and for the sake of keeping everyone safe, we're returning back to online. We have a tentative plan to possibly do an in-person only for the month of November, depending on how things go, and then possibly for one in May of next year. But for the remainder of the collaborative will be online. It just seems to serve everyone more conveniently and keeping everyone safe. So with that, we have two great presenters today talking about educational benefits. But first, I'll hand it over to Rudy, who is our chair for the Recreational Rehab Working Group, who's going to be giving you an update as to what they've been working on.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me. So this month, we're actually going to be having a recreation and well-being expo. So far, that's the first that I've really come across. And it's a collaboration between DPAM, which includes JVS, both districts, and also Goodwill. We're also having the LAVC involved and UCLA VA Veteran Family Wellbeing Center. Anyways, yeah, we're going to have a lot of good recreational wellness events going on there this month. It's going to be at the West LAVA, August 20th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's going to be at Jackie Robinson Stadium. So if you guys know any recreation or wellness organizations that can help veterans, with alternative healing, please reach out to me. Amy, I think we have that flyer out there. I will try to share that on the chat as well. So that's our main thing going on for August 20th. Feel free to reach out to me, Jenny, Amy, anybody that is involved. Tom, do you have anything to add to this? If you want.
No, really. Thanks, Rudy. That's great. I mean, it's going to be out at Jackie Robinson Stadium. It's there'll be a really big shaded area, a lot of pop-up tents as well. So and lots of water to stay hydrated, because I think it will be warm, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Free food. We have some really awesome giveaways too that we'll be raffling off. So we're really excited about it. We started doing this in 2019, and then when COVID struck, or maybe it was 2019, and then when COVID struck, it kind of went online, and so we're really excited to have this outdoor event in this space and working with our partners. So yeah, we've got the flyer and the sign up in the chat there. And if you're either a vendor that would like to have a table there or an attendee, please contact Rudy or sign up. And we hope to see you there.
It's on the Eventbrite. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rudy. Now I'd like to introduce Cesar Gonzalez. He is our chair for the Higher Education Working Group, and also the director for the Veteran Resource Center at Cal State LA. Cesar.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should unmute myself, right? We've been doing this for 2 years and we still kind of get little hiccups here and there. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Amy, for the introduction. Good to see a lot of you this morning. It's always exciting to be part of the LAVC every month. So I was asked to come and do a brief presentation about Veterans Resource Centers at, let's say, my institution, which is Cal State LA, California State University, Los Angeles, but overall, and how Veterans Resource Centers help students in higher education. But I also have a colleague from the VA who's also going to be presenting, David Fierro. David, if you're there, say hello. David is a representative from the VA. He's going to actually be talking about, he's going to be providing some updates that we want all of you to be aware of. For any of you that have clients or working with individuals that are in higher education that have concerns or not aware of some major updates regarding their VA benefits, he's going to talk about that. Also, he's going to briefly summarize some of the educational VA benefits. There seems to be a lot of misunderstanding in terms of what's what. Either students are getting misinformation or the students are not really advocating for themselves and taking the opportunity to learn about what benefits they're entitled to from the VA. So our presentation is going to really revolve around that information. So hopefully all of you really will benefit this and share this information with your clients that you're working with. And of course, any of you that have any questions, we'll provide our contact information. You're more than welcome to reach out. So I want to talk about Veterans Resource Centers at both community college and the university level. So I'm going to talk in general terms, but then I'm going to focus on what we do here at Cal State LA as part of the Veterans Resource Center. So this whole new concept of Veterans Resource Centers throughout the country is new. It actually, you have a lot of traditional universities in the East Coast that have had these type of centers for decades, but within the last decade or so, it seems like it's been gravitating here to the West Coast, and now community colleges up and down the state, both private schools, UCs, Cal States, all of a sudden have some sort of a center to be able to provide services and assist military connected students, whether they're veterans themselves, active service, reservists, dependents or spouses of veterans, to assist them in their transition into higher education. Community college are very unique, just because you're going to see that in most community colleges, they have what's called a one-stop shop. I know I heard Carol's name mentioned earlier today by Rocio. Carol is the director at the Pasadena City College Veterans Resource Center. So the community college have a one-stop shop where they have, believe it or not, an academic advisor in the center. They have resources like VPAN at the center, US Vets sometimes at the center. So they have all these entities right for our student veterans to utilize and take advantage of. And that's awesome. That's great. There's also a lot of grants that are geared toward community college Veterans Resource Center. So they have the opportunity to get a lot of funds. But at the university level, UCs, Cal States, not so much. They're a little bit different. They're navigated and structured different from community colleges. We don't have academic advisors in the centers. We do work with representatives from VPAN and US Vets, and we have them come and do presentations, and we build that relationships for collaborations moving forward. But it's a very unique structure that a lot of our community college students, when they get to the university, they kind of raise their eyebrows and they're kind of, well, why don't I have this access like I did at the community college? So it's a little bit unique. And I know it is from, university to university, there might be different, San Bernardino versus Fullerton versus LA versus UCLA versus UCI. So they're very unique resources and items that are provided at those Veterans Resource Centers. So with that said, let me show you a little PowerPoint for the Veterans Resource Center and what we do here. Let me get that going. All right, so this is again from the perspective of Cal State LA's Veteran Resource Center. Now we do have a mission, and we emphasize on values in terms of how we want our students to be representative and how we want our students to be treated. Of course, we serve incoming juniors, freshmen, grad students. They're either, again, veterans, they're active service, they're reservists, spouses, children of veterans. So we encompass our military connected students. And so we provide all of these services for them, absolutely free. So we emphasize on service, community, resource growth. So again, we want our students to have a positive experience in higher education. We want them to continue to excel and pursue more than just their bachelor's, right? We want them to consider getting master's, going to doctoral programs, going to law school. So we try to provide that early positive experience so that they want to continue to move forward. For a lot of us, for veterans, we're first generation. We are, students of color. And nobody ever told us about pursuing a master's degree or getting our doctoral degree. Just go to college. I remember my parents telling me, or my mom telling me, I go to college, go to school, even though she only had an elementary education level. So the emphasis is always there, but of course, it's easier said than done. So, once the student gets here, our veterans get here, we want to push them. We want them to excel. And of course, there's always barriers, and that barrier is their VA educational. If they run out of VA educational benefits, most of them say, hey, I don't want to get a student loan. I don't want to deal with it. I'm just going to get my bachelor's and I'm done. So we try to make sure that we provide them information in terms of converting to Chapter 31. And David will talk about that. That's a vocational rehab. So again, our goal is to encourage them, guide them, not only during their journey here at Cal State LA, but really kind of start planting the seeds of how to continue to pursue your education, but also how to become a professional. So let's talk about the history of the VRC here at Cal State LA. As I mentioned, the whole concept is new here in the West Coast. So we're no different. Our doors opened in fall of 2013. So we're coming up to our 10-year anniversary. Prior to the Veterans Resource Center here at Cal State LA, there was only one person and one person only that had any connection with any veteran on campus, and that was our school certifying official. There was no office for students to hang out. There was no office for them to mingle and gather. There was no programs, no services aimed for them. It was just our school certifying official. So now that the VRC was created, now there was a place for them to feel comfortable, a place that they can call home. So we currently serve anywhere between 1,200 to 1,500 military connected students at any given academic semester. Keep in mind, our students here, of course, we have students graduating at the end of the fall. We have new students coming in at the beginning of the spring. Everybody most of them graduated at May. So our numbers fluctuate, but we average about 1,200 to 1,500 military connected students. Some of you might say that's a low number. Some of you might say that's a high number. It is a high number. Every college is different, but we are seeing that because of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan being done, even though they're still wrapping up, a lot of veterans now are pursuing their education. Interesting point, if we see here the last part, we're estimate that 90% of all of our Cal State LA student veterans are transfer students. So that means that that a large majority don't come straight to the university. They start their educational journey at a community college, work on that academic rusty component that they've had, especially if they went from high school to the military. They do their community college coursework, and then they transfer. So here at Cal State LA, again, 98% of all of our student veterans are transfer students. And we normally get students that are local, Mount Sac, Citrus, PCC, Rio Hondo, East LA, LACC, LA Trade Tech. Not to say that we don't get students from Santa Monica Community College, Long Beach Community College, Saddleback Community College, Chaffey. We get students from all over, but we normally get our students that are local region. So some of the services and programs that we offer at the Veterans Resource Center is really an array of services. There's always a misconception from even our own leaders here on campus that all we do is process educational benefits, right? So if a student veteran or a dependent comes in and they have VA benefits, all we do is process that so that their tuition is taken care of. No, that's not all what we do. We do much more than that. We do pre-admission information. We get tons of emails and calls from students all over the country that want to come to our university. So we provide them guidance on what they need in order to get here. We have a computer workstation that is exclusively for our students here at Cal State LA at the Veterans Resource Center, so that our students don't have to be scrambling all over campus to go to the computer lab and trying to get a computer. For all of us that, we went to college, we know how that's a pain in the butt, right? Trying to get to the computer lab to trying to print your paper in the last minute that is due. So we have our own computer lab. We provide them free printing. We give them free paper. We provide them priority registration, and that's critical because not all campuses do that. And we want our students to have priority registration so that they graduate in a reasonable time. We don't want them to linger here 4 or 5 years and then they're going to exhaust their VA benefits and they're still not even close to graduating. So we give them priority registration. They meet with their academic advisors and they have a goal, a plan, and an execution to graduate in a timely manner. My background has always been as a counselor, and my specialty is career counseling. And so one of the things that I do here at the VRC with that background is that we emphasize a lot of professional workshops and have them understand how to transition from student to professional. It goes without saying that, again, because a lot of our veterans are first generation students of color, they've never had that type of guidance or understanding of how they can become professional. So we partner up with, I see Jennifer here from Cedars-Sinai is here with us today. So we partner up with Cedars-Sinai and they do presentations for us. I see Rudy is here from VPAN. We partner up with VPAN and have them do workshops for us. We do workshops here at from our Career Development Center. I do workshops as well, right? So we do as much as we can to help them prepare and have them understand how to transition to the professional world. We get a lot of times we get students that come in and they major in psychology and they end up getting a degree, but they realize they no longer want to do anything with psychology. So what else can they do with their degree, right? So that's something that we also address and we provide guidance. So there's a big emphasis on that. Space and social and study space, as we all know, us veterans, we like to hang out with each other. So we create a space where all of our veterans can come in and hang out and just be themselves and get to meet and joke around respectfully, of course, and just be with each other. And that's important for their development and for their process as in higher education. We do a lot of campus and community referrals. I mentioned some of the organizations like VPAN and Cedars-Sinai and US Vets, Telacu, Wounded Warriors. There's so many organizations that we create partnerships with so that if our student needs a service that we here at campus might not be able to provide, then we have a direct contact that we can do a warm handout. We don't just say, here's the number, good luck. We want to make sure we make that connection ahead of time. We have that bridge established, and then we work with that student to get them to the next level, and depending on what they need. So we do a lot here at the VRC, and this is really what a lot of VRCs do, right? I know Alex Ortega is here today from Cal State Fullerton. He can attest to that. They do an amazing job at Cal State Fullerton. I know my colleagues at San Bernardino and Long Beach and Dominguez and, you know, everywhere, they do an amazing job. Moving on, other things that we do a lot of programming. We do a lot of program because that's important for our students to understand and give them that college experience, right? We have a Veterans Day ceremony. So this is a campus-wide event that we host, and we invite all of our university community. Our university president comes and talks. We have veterans that I designate as speakers, and they share a little bit about their experience as veterans. So we bring in the university community and really put our veteran students in the spotlight and recognize our Veterans Day here at Cal State LA. Of course, everything culminates here in higher education to graduation. We want our students to graduate. So we have our graduation dinner. It's absolutely free. We don't charge our students a penny. Whether they're graduating with their undergrad or grad, they're invited. They're given their graduation court for their ceremony when they graduate. They get a free dinner. They're able to bring in a guest. And have that, again, that positive experience. And again, every college does things differently. Some universities do lunch instead of dinner. We do dinner. But the same concept is there. Let me go on. One of the cool things, and I'm almost wrapping up and have David on standby. One of the cool things we also do is that we hire VA federal work study students, and we call them peer mentors. And these are veterans or dependents that are receiving VA benefits. And as you know, some of you probably do have VA work studies working with you and for you. So we also have them here at the VRC, and they are our first responders. They work with our students that come in and maybe don't know about our center. They're undergrads, grad students, they're different backgrounds, different branches, and of course they represent the pulse of our university. I'm sorry, they represent the pulse of our military connected student needs. Here's a quick snapshot of our team here at Cal State LA. This is our Alpha team. Here's I'm the director. We have Sergio Gallegos, who's our benefit coordinator, Andrea Villanueva, our office assistant, David Fierro, and we'll talk about David. I excluded to say that Cal State LA is in a very unique campus because we're only one of 3 within the 23 campus systems that has a VA counselor on campus. And David comes to Cal State LA every Thursday, every Friday, all year long. And again, we're only one of 3 campuses. I think the other campuses, Cal State Long Beach and San Diego State, are the only other campuses within the 23 Cal State system that has such a representation. So we're very fortunate to have David and have that partnership with the VA. And David himself is a U.S. Marine veteran and a Cal State LA grad, bachelor's and master's here at Cal State LA. We also have a very unique service team. We call it the Delta service team. And these are individuals both on and off campus that are critical to our student success. So here at the VRC, again, I talked about, I just don't pass the buck. So we have connections with very unique departments where if our student has issues or encounter any problems, we step in right away. We have a representative that serves in our Delta service team from our extended education. We call it PAGE here. Accounting, of course, if there's cashier issues, we have a representative there that can troubleshoot. Financial aid, admissions, career center, project rebound, Office of Students with Disabilities. And I know Anthony Rodriguez is with us today here, and Anthony is part of our Delta service team. So this is something that is unique to our campus. I don't think any other campuses have such a team, assembled such a team. And again, these individuals are always ready and standby to help our students if they encounter any problems here on campus or, again, off-campus issues such as CalVet and so on. Well, with that said, that's really in a nutshell why VRCs exist. And we talked about community college. It's a different animal. It's a different beast. But UCs, Cal States are very similar. Private schools are a little bit different, right? Laverne, USC, LMU, Azusa Pacific, they're structured a little bit different, but nonetheless, they have the same mission, which is to help and serve military connected students on those campuses. Our contact information is there. I'm going to put my personal contact information in the chat box in just a second. So please feel free to contact if you are working with any clients that are interested in pursuing higher education and want to get more information on how can I come to a Cal State. It doesn't have to be Cal State LA. It could be any Cal State. We can provide guidance and assistance and making sure that they continue that journey and get their higher education. So with that said, I want to pass the torch over to my colleague, David Fierro, VA representative, who's going to talk about the different VA educational benefits, summarize it really quick, and then also to provide some updates that you might want to share with your clients if they have some pending issues with that. So David, are you there?
Yes, I'm right here. Good morning.
All right, David, I'm going to stop sharing screen and it's all yours.
Okay, so for all you voracious note writers, don't worry, I'll share my PowerPoints later on because I got to breeze through them because I want to respect the time you guys have to get into your breakout groups and see if I can have time for questions. Also with those questions, please make them general. If they're individual questions regarding the case, please contact me directly and we can work on your case. So let's go into the PowerPoint. Sharing my screen. I think you'll see Caesar on there. Okay, so with my screen here, we're going to talk about VA educational benefits. As you see, I am the VSOC counselor with the Veteran Readiness and Employment Program. We were known as Voc Rehab. We changed our name to Veteran Readiness because we wanted to get out of that thing that we're rehabbing. A lot of people see rehab as drug rehab, but we can rehab everything from mental health to physical disabilities. So we want to make sure that it's not vocational rehab, it's veteran readiness and employment, because our goal is to get you back to work. Now, here is a comparison tool. You'll see we have Chapter 33, which mostly everybody uses, and there's a criteria for it. Chapter 30, that will be sunsetted in 2030. I don't run into many people who use either Chapter 30 or Chapter 32. We do have our reservists that come to use 1606. And of course, for our dependents, we have Chapter 35. So on that, I'll start off with Chapter 35 because we do love our dependents. So this is a benefit for eligible spouses and children of veterans. With this program, you have to pay your own tuition fees and books and other expenses. You only receive a stipend for Chapter 35. Who is eligible? Whoever's eligible is typically someone who has a permanent disability, 100%, a veteran who died while having that service-connected disability, a service member that's missing in action, POW, or a service member that is hospitalized or receiving outpatient care for a VA-determined service-connected disability that's permanent and total. Now, also, when can this benefit be used? Spouses and surviving spouses have 10 years to use this benefit, and it begins on the day they get the letter that says you are now eligible for this benefit. If the person was rated within 3 years of getting out, they're eligible for 20 years to use this service. And spouses of service members who died while on active duty also have 20 years. Children must be between the ages of 18 and 26 to use this benefit. There are certain exceptions. And the number right there is a GI Bill number to contact for details. Keep that number. Any GI Bill related questions, the 188 number is great. 35 changes. Now, before 2018, those that were using Chapter 35 were eligible for 45 months worth of benefits. It is now down to 36 months. The good thing is the monthly rates keep going up for training every fiscal year. Last year, full-time was $12.98. This year, it's $14.01. But this is only for institutional training only. So that's if they're in school, in regular school. There's different rates for apprenticeships, OJTs, farm co-ops, and special restorative training. At the end of this presentation, I did include a bunch of links for anything that is here because I can only touch the tip of the iceberg because there's so many changes with the Comey Act and Isaacson and Rowe. A bunch of changes, so I'm only touching the tip of the iceberg here, but you will have access to all that information. We also have a Fry Scholarship, and this provides benefits to children and surviving spouses of service members who died in the line of duty. They receive 36 months at the 100% level. We pay full tuition and fees to the schools, and we give a stipend for books and supplies, and also monthly housing allowance. Those who are eligible for both, you have to elect to use one or the other unless the parent died prior to August 1st, 2011. If that is the case, they're eligible for both benefits, but they're capped at a total of 81 months. Surviving spouses must decide which one. If they elect to use Chapter 35, cannot go back to use Fry, and vice versa. And here's some more changes. This is some recent changes. For the recipients of Fry and Purple Heart, they can be covered under the Yellow Ribbon program, which we cover in a little while. Also in changes in transfer of benefits. If the veteran's entitled dependent, they can now designate another dependent if that dependent died before they were able to use those benefits. Also, if the veteran that made the original entitlement passes away, that dependent can send those benefits to someone else. And one that just came out that was effective as of 9 days ago, the Colonel John McHugh Tuition Fairness Act. They amend the definition of covered individuals to include in-state tuition to include all Chapter 35 recipients. So that is wonderful because paying out of state fees is horrible. Now we'll move into 1606. 1606 provides 36 months of education for members of all these branches. As you see, Space Force not on there. I have not run into any Space Force veterans. Eligibility, after June 30th, 85, you sign a 6-year obligation, you completed your IADT, you got your high school diploma or GED before you completed that, and you're in good standing. These benefits will end once you leave the selected reserves. They can be extended if you were not able to train due to a service-connected disability. And the changes for reservists. So if you were ordered active duty for anything medical, that time counts towards eligibility for post 9/11. Members who were receiving the REAP program before November 25th, 2015 and lost it because we closed that program may elect to have that service credited to the post 9/11 GI Bill, which is great. And there's certain reservists under that public law that can receive post 9/11 GI Bill benefits. I always suggest to use that post 9/11 because that BH is great. So they can, that applies to anybody serving on or after June 30th of 2008. Now the post 9/11 GI Bill, better known as Chapter 33. This is a basic explanation of what we cover: tuition fees, money for housing, money for books and supplies. And it shows you can receive up to $1,000 per school year. To be eligible, at least 90 days on active duty, Purple Heart on or after September 11th, 2001, and you were honorably discharged. Remember, you have to have an honorable discharge to receive your Chapter 33. You served 30 continuous days, once without a break after 9/11, and were honorably discharged. Or your dependent child using benefits transferred by a qualified veteran or service member. And also the REAP reservists as well, they're eligible for this. Remember, you can only use one at a time. You cannot use 33 and 30, 33 and 1606. You have to use one benefit at a time. Same goes with Chapter 31 Voc Rehab. You can only use one of these benefits at a time. And if your service ended before January 1st, 2013, your benefits will expire 15 years from your separation date. If your service ended after that, then you have the Forever GI Bill, which is a great change because if you're service connected, you can use Voc Rehab first, and we'll go into that because that's a new law that came into play. Here are some changes with the Act. The 15-year limit is gone. We're also restoring benefits. Those whose schools were closed or disapproved, the VA can restore those benefits that you use for those schools. And once again, there's REAP. I don't know why I have it on there so many times. And also with the Forever GI Bill, another thing that changed was we eliminated the 40% benefit level. Previously, 40% was, I believe it was 90 days, less than 6 months. And then it went to 50%, 6 to 12 months, and 60 was 12 to 18. but we expanded the 60% and we put the 50% down to 90 days in less than 6 months. So this is the percentages you'll receive for your post 9/11 GI Bill if you did not do at least 36 months of service. Here's some more changes that they made. There's assistance, once again, for students affected by school closures. Also assistance for those impacted by that act. There's more STEM benefits for it. There's also work study expansion to it. There was a date of, I believe, June 2022, where some work study programs were going to end. Now they expanded that. And under Isaacson and Rowe, there's also, I believe they extended it to be able to work with congressional reps as long as they're doing outreach for veteran services. The big must with that one is GI Bill, the post 9/11 GI Bill students must verify their enrollment. Believe they send you a text or an email. You have to verify your enrollment every single month. And then we go into the Yellow Ribbon program. This program is typically used with private schools, or if you're paying out of state fees, where the schools enter an agreement with the VA so we can pay the difference of your attendance at those private schools or out of state schools. The VA will not exceed 50% of that difference, but they will assist you in paying those rates so that you are comfortable while you're going to school. And this is what the schools have to agree to do in order to be part of the Yellow Ribbon program. So they must contribute on behalf of the individual, and it's up to the schools how they want to give the money back to either the student or pay it straight to the school. More Yellow Ribbon. This is about entitlement for those in the Yellow Ribbon program. Basically, same entitlement to get into post 9/11. And of course, my favorite, Voc Rehab Chapter 31, which is now Veteran Readiness and Employment. This program assists veterans with service-connected disabilities to prepare for, obtain, and maintain a job. It is an employment program. It is not an extension of Chapter 30 or 33. This is an employment program that you need to be entitled into. And the basic period of eligibility, either because it's also open service members, you were discharged from active duty before January 1st, 2013, your eligibility ends 12 years from one of these dates. The date you were first noticed of your separation for active duty, or the date you received your first VA service-connected disability rating. It could be extended based on how severe your disability is. We could go past at 12 years. Also, who is entitled to these services? Active duty members who expect to receive an honorable discharge and obtained a memorandum rating of 20% or more, or participating in one of our IDES programs. We do have IDES counselors stationed in Twin Nine Palms and in Barstow. And important, I put in red, they have to be determined by veteran readiness to need vocational rehab services. Like I said, you have to be entitled. For veterans, receive an honorable discharge or other than dishonorable. And with the 10%, they need to have a serious employment handicap, or with 20%, have an employment handicap. And once again, VRNE counselors will make that determination. You are entitled if you have 20% and you have an employment handicap, or once again, 10% and a serious employment handicap. Some of the services provided by Chapter 31, besides paying for your tuition and everything, we do have job skills training. We do medical and dental referrals to the VHA. We do adjustment counseling, that's those VSOCs, and payment of your allowance. Very important that you at least have 1 day remaining of your Chapter 33 in order to get the BAH rate. That is important. Before, the rumor was use up your 33, then go to 31. No, we have a new 48-month rule that we'll go into that states the importance of using 31 before using 33. So historically, with this 48-month rule, with VRNE, you must not go past 48 months of benefits. So it was a combination of both 33 and 31. You couldn't go over 48 months. The education program 33 and 30 had the same thing. You could not exceed 48 months with combined benefits. And of course, it always says except in certain circumstances, because Voc Rehab can extend your benefits if you need an extension, if you're not finishing your program on time, if you require a graduate degree, we could extend your benefits. Now, the new rule interpretation, voc rehab stays the same. Those benefits used under 31 cannot exceed 48 months. But with education, the combination of the 48 months is only for 33 and 30 put together. They cannot count your 31 time as they did before. In the past, whenever you used chapter 31, we would take time away from 33. So if you used 10 months of your 33, which is still the case, you only have 38 months remaining to voc rehab. And if you used, say you use if you came into voc rehab first and used all 48 months, you did not have any 33 left because we took from that pot. Now those pots are separated. Voc rehab cannot touch your 33. So if you use 48 months of voc rehab, you should still be eligible to use your 36 months of chapter 33. Now, also check if you have a delimiting date, as those that got out before 2013 will have a delimiting date. Those that got out after 2013, as you know, you have the forever GI Bill and you should not have that date. So beginning April 1st, we will not count anything using the 31. Also, if you have any remaining eligibility under 31, education is going to start re-educating those claims to see if you have any entitlement left. So as a result, thousands who previously received 31 benefits will get a new certificate of eligibility indicating if they have any benefits to use. If you have any questions, call that 1-888 number if you've not heard from them, because there are a lot of cases they got to go through. So the Office of General Counsel thought it was incorrect for education to previously count those 31 entitlements. So that is why they're going back and giving back time. So the order of usage is reversed. So now it is better if you use 31 prior to using your 33. So our vocational rehab staff also has to go in there. So if we did a retroactive reimbursements, which in some cases meant that you went to certain schools and you would have been paid more if you would have used 31, your counselor could have gone back and paid you the difference. Now they're going back and they have to go back through all those cases and make that time under 31, not 33. So that means you will get some 33 time back. So this means that you can go through voc rehab, you can get your bachelor's degree, go back to work, and later on in life, if you need a master's to move up, you'll have your 33 left, especially those under the forever GI Bill. But like I said, check your delimiting date. That is very important. And we got our chapter 36, which is a little known program. This program is very beneficial for those that are first getting out or getting ready to separate. That is where you meet with the counselor to go over certain things to make sure you're on the right career track. So we want to make sure that you are going to make the best use of your benefits when you're fresh out or when you're getting out, or even if you just got service connected, come see one of us. What we provide, we target every individual need. We look at career paths, education. We do labor market studies. We see what degrees are needed. We want to make sure that the career path is growing. We don't want to put you in a dead career. We want to make sure when you get your degree 4 years from now, you are going to be able to get a job. And also we do anything to help you overcome your obstacles. Could be through reasonable accommodation, could be through counseling. And what I do, that's success. And fortunately, I am at 3 colleges. I am at Pasadena, Los Angeles City, and at Cal State LA. And we want to help our service members, our veterans, and our qualified dependents be very successful in their transition and in their while they're receiving their education. So we prep you to enter into that labor market, making sure you're on the best path to be successful. We also have another program called Vet Tech. Vet Tech is a pilot program. As you see, you must have 1 day of GI Bill, unexpired, so it must still be good to be eligible for Vet Tech. There's the information where to apply for Vet Tech, and it says what kind of training it is. And typically it is for, like say you have your bachelor's, you need some more education, you're in the IT field, you need a certificate, can't get into voc rehab, Vet Tech will help you out with those certificates. And another program we have is VRAP. VRAP came back during the COVID. They receive up to 12 months of tuition and fees. And this is wonderful because the monthly housing allowance is based on chapter 31 rates. So to be eligible, you got to be between 22 and 67, unemployed due to COVID, and not eligible for GI Bill or chapter 31. And there's a list of the maximum participants and the money. And right here, last 2 slides, I included all the links for everything I spoke about. So in case, as I said, with Isaacson Roll and the Comeri Act, there's so many changes that you may want to go into those sites and see what changes and see if any of them do apply to you. And if you need any further information, you can see me in person at PCC Mondays or Tuesdays, 9 to 5:30, LACC Wednesdays, 9 to 5:30, or come on down to Cal State LA from 9 to 5:30. And there's my email. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to contact me. Thank you so much. And back to whoever's presenting.
Great. Thank you so much, David. If there's any questions, I know I saw something from Tony Hicks that asked, what implications does the VA law that President Biden signed have on veterans?
I need to see what specific law he is referring to. So if you want, go ahead and email me and I can meet with him.
I think he's referring to the PACT Act, which is not related to educational benefits. It's related to medical.
Oh, thank you, William.
I don't, unless he's referring to something else. I had a question for Caesar. I recently completed some graduate studies at Pepperdine, and they're just standing up their VRC. So that when I applied a couple years ago, there was nobody to guide me through the process, and I had to figure it out on my own with the assistance of others like Anthony Rodriguez at CalVet. Is there a tab or something? For example, I went to when I was looking at grad schools, I just went to their websites and I just decided there how to apply, where I wanted to apply, and just followed the instructions of the website. If there had been a VRC active that could have helped me apply to grad school, that would have been enormously beneficial. Is there a tab? I've never been to the Cal State where you work. I've never been to their website, but is there something on their landing page to say, hey, veterans, if you're a veteran and you're interested in applying to school here, go here. Because if each school that had an active VRC had something like that, that would be extremely beneficial, I would think, if somebody just completed that completed schooling.
Well, there is a tool. The CSU has a tool, and I inserted the website on the chat where one can browse through all the 23 campuses and look for a specific grad program they're doing, right? So they can look at political science, master's program, and then the system itself will let them know exactly what Cal States would have a master's in poli-sci. So is it specifically for veterans? No, but this is where I think it's important to again repeat that when students come, we get a lot of inquiries about undergrad and grad. So this is an opportunity for us to guide them, and we emphasize on getting veterans in higher education, not so much. And I'm going to be honest with you, not so much coming to Cal State LA, because my goal as a veteran, as a director, I want them to continue their education. Now, that'd be great if they come to Cal State LA. I'm not going to lie to you, but I want them to continue their education. And I know my colleague here, Alex Ortega, has the same philosophy, and we want our veterans to continue higher education. And we do get students that come in and they say, hey, I want to go to USC, I want to go to LMU, I want to, and can I use Yellow Ribbon program at Cal State? Unfortunately, you can't. But that's why we guide them and we provide them, and then also. At least I take that opportunity to give them some information about what do they want to do with that master's in, again, an example in poli-sci. What do you think you want to do? So that they understand if this is a right path for them, and then also provide options to see what options they choose for themselves, right? Especially if they're currently employed, maybe have their employer pay them to go to school, or if they're Chapter 31, working with their VA counselor to make sure that they're in the right track and have their program be paid by Chapter 31.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I guess what I'm saying is I've never heard of your organization before. So when I was looking at going back to grad school, I would not have known to go look for you guys. But do you work with individual institutions to have them have something on their landing pages that directs veteran students to you?
No, not that I'm aware of. I know that we work with other. Not that I'm aware that that their website directs them to us. Probably not. But we do work with agencies like De La CU, and a lot of my colleagues that are here today with us as well. That I'm sure that they refer students to us directly. But to say that they have our contact information on their website, I don't think that's the case, William.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, William, I wanted to add to your comment with regards to the PACT Act that you mentioned after the last, after David's pitch.
Yeah, is there something in there regarding education?
Yeah, there is a indirect application with regards to spouses, say a veteran due to the PACT Act establishes 100% disability, then there are education benefits available to the spouse. So it's an indirect application, but in a sense, there is educational benefits for the spouses in conjunction with, say, a veteran who has been rated 100% service connected due to exposure.
Is that related to one of those chapters? Is that related to a specific chapter benefit, or is that something new?
Yeah, well, no, it's there. It's always been there. There's also the same sort of benefit. Say the veteran dies from his due to a service-connected disability in DIC, that would also be made available to the spouse. So it's indirect, but veterans and their spouses should still be made aware of these educational benefits that do become available to the spouse.
Absolutely. Thank you for that clarification.
Sure.
Real quick, before I pass this over to Amy, and I know that a lot of people are jumping onto the working groups real quick, we want to say that if you encounter any clients that do want information on higher education, we have our higher education working group here. You can invite them to join us and we provide them information, contacts, and so on. I see that Jessica Peak from East LA Community College is joining us today as well. So she's an awesome person to have contact. She has contacts for all of LACCD, 9 campuses. So again, we're here to provide resources. We're here to connect and guide our veterans to succeed and continue their higher education. With that said, I'm heading over to higher education. So thank you so much again for the platform and to provide all of you some information about VRCs and also David Fierro for providing the information on the VA benefits. So thank you very much, Amy, and appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Cesar. We really appreciate you and David coming out. I know I was confused and I get asked constantly about educational benefits and don't really have the opportunity to advocate properly since I'm not informed. So thank you both for taking the time to educate us. Again, with that being said, we do have our working groups are now open, and these are the listed speakers for some of our working groups. So if any of these interest you, I highly recommend you continuing to be part of the conversations and collaborate with these different working groups that are focused on very specific needs. So we did go over time. I wanted Rocio to introduce her speaker, but I think she may have moved on to her working group. But again, these are the available working groups. If you need any assistance joining a working group, please just put it in the chat and I will review that and try to help you get into the working group that you wish to attend.